Kazo,
What's up, cuz?
how you doing, family?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. You look beautiful as always.
All things, cuz. You look spiffy as always.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly.
I love the background. Looks nice and peaceful and just
Oh,
chilled.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, how you doing this morning? You on early, huh?
I'm ready. I'm always on time, just waiting.
It's a beautiful thing.
Got
Yeah,
your
let's get
fresh cup of coffee, huh?
no coffee for me, man. Just some tea, man. Just
Okay,
trying to.
okay. Tea. I'm on the same wave. I love my tea. Ginger tea, lemon tea, that's me.
Yeah, you know we from the islands. You gotta
Of course,
gotta
of
get your
course.
tea, your tea.
Of
So,
course.
So I want to thank you for the invite, man. This is a beautiful thing you got going. I'm so proud of you, man.
All things, cuz.
You're making waves. You're gonna do great things. So I'm glad that I'm on one of your earlier ones, so I could reminisce when you blow up like I know you're about to do.
Of course, of course. Okay, so I'm just going to start the intro.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 4, guys, of Let Me Talk My Shh. You are now tuning in with Manaya Kid, and we have special guest Paul Hill, which is also my cousin.
How y'all doing? My name is Paul Hill. This is where I run down the list of what I do, but I'm gonna cut it brief. So I'm a general contractor, also do some investing in the stock market, also do some cash buy with properties, um, some real estate investments. Uh, yeah, and that's about it. So I have a construction company and just a regular entrepreneur. That's
Love
about
it,
it.
love it, love it. And I put your website in the caption for the live, so whoever wants to visit the website, it's right there, laid out.
All right, all right. So I know that you have your format going, so I'm not going to try to mess it up. But being here, I also want to ask you questions too,
Of course, and I love that.
because I really am loving the wave you're on. And I told you the other day that being 21, my daughter is 2. I'm just so happy that I have someone this close, and just how you're passionate and how you're driven. And I just want to pick your brain of how did you get this way? Because, I know pops and moms do their thing, and my son is 14, but I really just want to see how you getting this drive and this energy at this age.
Honestly, cuz ever since I was like 5 years old, I always had the mindset of doing big things. Like, you know, at the age of 5, I wanted to be on Disney Channel. At the age of 7, I entered acting and modeling school, and it's just been a thing that's always been in me. And of course, with the support and love with my parents, growing up, they would be into music or they would do great things, and I would be like, you know what? Just seeing it and having it around the house is a push as well too.
Nah, that's dope. I think a lot of people want that fame and the accolades, but it's the thing with you is like there's substance behind you though. It's not because you're beautiful or you're talented. The substance you speak on, like just mental health, happiness, self-love. You speak on things that a lot of the younger generation overlooks. So to have that understanding of self and just know what's important, I'm telling you, I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
Truly,
All right.
truly.
All right. So I think I took up enough of that.
And
So why don't
I
you go
do want
ahead?
to mention though, I do want to mention a lot of the support and love does come from my family. A lot of the love and support does come from my parents. I honestly couldn't have done it without their support. And like they're just awesome. Like even the pageant I mentioned in episode 1, like the support is unreal. I'm telling you. Like shout out to my parents for real, because
Yeah.
nothing is perfect, but
Big up Mo and the General Militant.
yes,
Mike, you
militant.
already know. You already know.
For real, for real. So, thank you for the question though. Thank you.
No, no problem.
Um, the title of, and I have my notes here, so I'm gonna be looking down my
No, it's
laptop.
fine.
The title of this episode is Entrepreneurship and Working Smart. I want to ask you, and we can talk about it. Do you think there's a difference between working hard and working smart? And if so, what is that?
Oh, it's a clear difference. I believe there's a machine that's going. And with school and everything else, they're telling you of like how to actually go out there and work for someone else. And the harder you work, the more you climb the ladder. And it's something that's sold to you. And if people don't buy into it, this society won't work. So we can't knock it completely. But you spoke about the background with the books. The person that used their brain is the one that's going to be delegating and tell you what to do. And you're going to be breaking your back doing all the hard work. And the person that do the less usually gets the most money. So it's not so much about finding a smarter way how to do a task, as opposed to just learning that if you can get people to do what you want to do, there's always going to be, I'm going to use the word with no disrespect, a sucker that don't understand that they could do the same thing if they just spend a little bit more time studying, using their brain, as opposed to like the brute force of muscle. So there is a way about working smarter, which is just using your mind, if that makes sense.
It's true. You know, for example, you can have like a person that has like 5 jobs or 3 jobs and be like, you know what, I'm going to make this money, do this. And then you have this person who has like, I don't know, working at like McDonald's, not to knock anybody that does, because my first job was stock market at the age of 16. And you can save your money and be like, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to buy into this stock. And just by making this move, now I have this amount of money, versus someone that has 3 jobs. And, you know,
yeah, that's a beautiful point, because with 3, 4, 5 jobs, you don't have a time to sit down and let your creativity and just to think outside the box. You don't have that time. So when you say like, this looks so peace and serene, it's easy to come up with ideas, to think outside the box and to say, how can I get others to do? It's not, you're going to always compensate them, but how do I use my mind to come up with other ways and stream of income? And you're not just sitting there chasing a dollar. Somebody give you $3 more, $5 more, and you're just looking for the next dollar as opposed to the next idea. So that's a great point.
Yeah. I honestly think like a lot of people are not aware of the whole difference of working smart and working hard. I feel like investing is big right now.
Yes.
It's just a big thing right now. What is it a day in a life like for you as an entrepreneur?
Wow. My life is completely different than it was 3 years ago. So I thought that I don't want to work for anybody else. I get out and it's just go time. I'm just going to have the time of my life. But I still have to look up if this is a real word. It's like corporate Stockholm syndrome. So after I leave this gig, now my time is mine. I'm missing the structure where I have to use an alarm clock. I'm missing these things that drive me. After like 6 months, you get it out your system. Now I have my life where I have my routine. I get up in the morning, I drink some water, then I meditate for about 30 minutes. I go for a run, then I go to the gym. I might have a few jobs going on where guys, I have to go check on them, drop off checks or just delegate, but I'm usually not on a day-to-day. So my job basically is just making sure everybody's set over there. But before that, I have to get up in my morning routine, and I might stop and see what my daughter's doing if she's in daycare. I might go check out my son. So my life right now is just about doing things that brings me peace.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So it's not all glamorous but it's very peaceful, and being at peace can sometimes become boring to some.
Yeah.
But it's a peaceful existence right now for me. So that's a day in the life right now.
That's so dope that you meditate. I also meditate too.
I won't say you have to, but once you start, you just don't understand how people can go through life without doing it, because there's so much going on in your head that if you can't just quiet the noise.
Yeah, and I almost feel guilty when I don't, you know? Like,
it'll catch up to you if you don't.
Yeah, like you feel like something's off. You're like,
Right.
You know?
Once you know, you can't unknow. So it's like, you know that you have to give yourself this joy, this piece of heaven on earth, and you don't, it's doing yourself a disservice. So I could tell you, man, like it radiates through the screen. I'm telling you, you got something. And
you too.
I'm old. I'm like twice your age. I'm supposed to get it by now. But there's fun, there's all this social media, there's so much distraction, and you truly are navigating this thing seamlessly. And I'm so proud of you. I'm
Thank
serious.
you,
I
thank
say this all
you,
the time, but
thank you.
of course you meditate. Of course you do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I was just thinking about what you just said, and it really stuck to me when you're like, sometimes when you have peace, it can be lonely. Like,
Oh,
you know, like, it's like you're happy, but then you're like, I'm doing this alone because there's not that much people that's on the same path as me.
yeah.
But once you find people that are, like for example, you, cuz it's just like I'm smiling at you, like wow, like there's other people, like you know.
Yeah. I be feeling bad. I'm telling you, I'm proud of you because I want to make sure that you know that you're doing an amazing job. But at 21, when I'm not saying most of your friends or your peers, they're looking for the next thrill or the next thing that's going to drive and make them feel alive. And you're
Right.
doing something to make you more calm. At my age, I have older people who are coming to me like, yo, how are you so, it's like you're serene, you're peaceful, like you got this thing illuminated. So my older generation are gravitating more towards me while they might be looking at you, the young kids, that you're boring. So
Yeah.
it must be way tougher for you because with me, people are coming and they see a light and they want it, but they don't understand that it takes work. So they'll come to me to the point where I'm like, I kind of enjoy my peace. I can't imagine having what you have at your age.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, sometimes, like, especially at my age, I'll see a group of my peers doing something that I'm not. Like, you know, everyone out right now is partying. I'm like working on something in the house, or I'm working on my podcast, and I'm like, damn, like, I could be out there partying. Not saying that I don't. Like, of course I party, of course, you know, I'm young. But,
yeah.
like, mostly I would say, especially in high school days, I put work first, then I put work first and then fun later. That's
Yeah.
just me, you know?
What is one of the biggest thing you think you've gained from like this spiritual path that you're taking, like meditating and just being who you are? How do you think it can help some of the kids who are dealing with like depression, not feeling like they're enough on these social media sites, just in this world? It seemed like it's bringing you so much peace. What is something that you think you can give to them or tell them with the way that you're living that can impact their life and help them down their path?
I would definitely just tell them self-love is key and just don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be the oddball out of the crowd. Just do what makes you feel happy. Follow your heart. Because one thing I learned that is like, even if you're like, I want to do this, but the whole crowd is doing this, let me follow the crowd, you will always feel a little off inside. And then you're not being the 100% you. You
Yeah.
know, you always want to be the 100% you, even if the whole world is looking at you laughing, even if the whole world's like what's wrong with her, you know? So I
Yeah.
would just definitely say stay true to yourself and just believe in yourself, even when everyone doesn't. Just do what you have to
Oh,
do.
oh wow. Well said.
Seriously.
All right, let me stop. I'm keep interrupting you. I know you have to get
No,
through your
no, no.
question. So
I like it. I like it.
I'm as interested about you and how you did and continue to do what you're doing as you are in this interview. So please continue.
Yeah, no problem. When I asked you what is a day in a life like for you as an entrepreneur, you said things are different now than they were 3 years ago. What were
Yeah.
things like for you 3 years ago?
So 3 years ago, I could not imagine getting up without an alarm clock. Now I wake up when I'm finished sleeping. So an alarm clock, you get up with this thing in your stomach, like I got to go to work. It could be a Sunday morning, but just knowing you have to get up Monday for work, you just feel this thing, and I no longer have it. So it's different now because I'm thinking of how I can get, whether it's 10, 15, however many guys are working with me, how I can get them to feed their family, but not wake up and feel that thing that I felt when I was doing a state job. Like I don't want them to feel that I feel. I want them to feel like they're doing something to improve someone else's life. They wake up, they love whatever they did, the house, the kitchen, whatever. So it's very different for me now than it was 3 years ago because I enjoy getting up. Monday feels the same as Friday. It none of that matters to me now. I'm just It's just enjoying life. The ups and downs, don't get me wrong. I'm not Buddha himself, but I understand now how to accept whatever comes, if that makes sense.
Of course. Yeah, that's big deal. I feel like a lot of people would love to be in that place that you're in, you know?
Yeah, but a lot of people, um, A, B, C, D, they want to jump to D. And
Yeah.
even if you pretend that you're in this place, you will eventually have to go back and learn what you didn't learn at A. So when that fall happens, it's going to be big because it's going to come crashing down. So because pretending is so much harder than the authentic self. So people can't want what I have without knowing what it took, because this is not easy. This doesn't feel good all the time. Like you said,
Exactly.
it gets lonely.
Exactly.
It gets boring. Sometimes you get pushed to that point where your desires that you think you've outgrown or you're past, it comes back. So you just have to be vigilant and consistent with just doing the work. And most people can't even last 3 weeks, like giving up some of the bare minimum. So they don't want what I have, because if they do, they'll do it.
It's true. It's true. And you
They
see a
won't.
lot of these great icons saying that too. Like, greatness is not always as perfect as it seems, or it's not
Right,
easy. You can't just
right,
snap a finger and then boom, you're there. You
right.
know?
They want the end result, but not like because I'm telling you, there's a lot of sacrifice. I'm not perfect by any means, but
Exactly. And I could say the same for me too. That's
right,
why, like, most of the time when people are like, oh, you're so great, I'm like, oh,
right.
thanks. Like, me, okay. Like, you know?
And I used to shy away from that too, but now I understand and I say it. I say, hey, depends on who the person is. Some people are genuine. Like when I compliment you, I am genuine,
Yeah.
sincere.
And of course,
But
I can feel that.
some people say things to me like, oh man, you make that look so easy, or you do that, and I'm like, please don't put me on a pedestal as a cop out for you not doing the work. I'm not any better or worse, or we have all the tools, bar some chemical imbalance or whatever. We have all the tools. Usually, people that are giving me the compliment, don't put me on this pedestal as a cop out, so you don't have to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Do
just
you
enjoy.
ever,
Go
sorry,
ahead,
go
please.
ahead.
No, I'm fine. Go ahead.
Do you ever, do you ever hear like the phrase, you're so lucky?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about that? Does it make you like happy? Does it get you upset? Like how do you
I understand that whenever someone says something to you, a compliment, an insult, it should go in the same bucket, because it's usually a lot more about them than me,
mm-hmm.
regardless of what it is. So me telling you how amazing you are, it's a lot about me, because I'm like, it's envy actually, because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if I was half like you are at
Mm-hmm.
21, and I'm like, I just want my son to get half. So it's more about me.
Then me, yeah, I get what you
Yeah. So
mean.
somebody like, you're so lucky, and I'm like, you don't understand what hard work looks like. So of course I said thank you, and I move on, because it really has nothing to do
Do
with
it,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that it's a lot that goes with insults, that go with a lot of the
It's
compliments,
in the
like
same pile. And
same
I
same
spoke
thing.
about that in my episode 2 when I was the self-love episode, and I was like, you ever see somebody and they react this way to you? It's more of a them problem than a you problem.
Yeah. I listen to both of those, and I'm like, okay then, because I'm telling you, speaking on, I know this is supposed to be entrepreneurial, and it all goes into the same bracket, believe it or not, where it's like the minute you realize, I don't want to go on a rant. I saw both your episodes, and I think they were amazing, and you are right. It is a them problem, and it's not about you. So please continue. I have to catch my, because sometimes you be touching on things that's like my passion. I'd be like, oh, because I love. So my motto is self improvement is the movement. So the minute you start talking about something that has to do with something
You're
more,
on it.
yeah. So if it's about like something more significant than even being an entrepreneur, I would love that topic, as opposed to, because being an entrepreneur, it's like you have to just decide that you want to be financially well off of your own ability and not what someone, because if you're working a job, someone created that in their mind and they went out and now you're living someone else's dream basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell yourself that, oh, I'm getting this amount of money. So they're paying you not to pursue your own dream or to even come up with a dream on your own.
Right.
So I could give all the advice in the world. And the thing is just, you have to believe in yourself and you have to be brave and you have to create some time to actually want something. Because a lot of people want the end result, but they don't really want anything.
What it takes. Yeah. The blood, sweat, and tears, everything.
Yeah. So that's why I know we're talking about entrepreneurship, but it's like the groundwork is so much more important than you might be out here doing all this thing trying to make it big, and you don't realize why you're trying to make it big is because of acceptance, because what money looks like. When you get it, you're gonna feel this way, you're gonna feel that way, and in reality, you just have to want something that's true to yourself. And you're an entrepreneur, and then you go out, you research, you do all the things that is necessary to get to that point. But if you don't make a decision, and that comes from the groundwork of self-love, being who you are, understanding self, I just see a lot of people going off of these things for the wrong reason.
For the limelight.
Yeah, it doesn't last. It doesn't feel any better. I think they said the cap for like true happiness is like 75 grand. America, if you're getting 75 grand, you don't get any happier.
Right.
You get more things. So it's like people are breaking their necks for things that they truly don't want. And some people think that when they leave the corporate world or a job, life becomes so much more pleasant. But in reality, because they don't have any self-discipline, they need somebody to tell them going at 7. So it's like you have to start being realistic with yourself and say, have I done the work to even be a true entrepreneur? Because sometimes what you ask for ain't really what you want.
Right. That's so true. What is your greatest fear and how do you manage fear?
My greatest fear used to be going to work for someone else again. And then I realized over my dead body, because I am like really responsible for my destiny. Whatever happens is it's for me. So once I say I'm not going to do something or I'm going to do something, that's it. But that's just something minor. But like the deeper one that I think I can overcome anything else in this world, because it's how my mind is set up, except losing my children.
Right.
So that's my biggest fear. And I'm usually big on things I can and can't control, but that one I just can't wrap my mind around it. And I tried just to be strong with certain things, but every time I even this talking about it right now, I'm afraid. So
right.
Yeah, and how do I handle it? I try to understand that certain things is not in my control.
Yes.
And I understand that that thing of if it's meant to be, it'll be. I mean, or whatever happens is in God's plan. I mean, that doesn't really bring me much comfort. I think it's just the way I handle things, which is meditate and just staying present, the power of now, just being right here, and don't let my mind take me on these trips forward or backwards. And I just stay present and just appreciate them, which is my kids, when I'm with them, and it just subside that way. Right. So I handle it by just being present, if that makes sense.
Right. And I feel like that's so big. I had trouble with that for a long time, just being in the moment, being present. I would always be like, what would happen in the future? This happened in the past and such. But I would say for me, family is such a big thing for me in life. I love my family. Like, everyone knows that. Family always comes first. I'm a big family person. Yeah. I would say one of my fears is feeling like I can't, or wishing that I did do something. That's why I just live my best life, to be honest.
Right.
You know, go all
out. I love it. Shout out to Brandon Hill and Alyssa Hill. Brandon is 14, Alyssa is 2. Man, I am absolutely blessed. But
yes, you
have nothing. As far as your fear goes, I mean, to each his own. It's yours, and I can't like diminish it by saying like it's not that big. But you could do anything. I see it already. So that's that fear that what's it, false evidence appearing real. In this case, it truly is that because you got this.
Thank you, cuz. So do you.
Of course,
Runs in the blood, you know?
easy.
Easy. Yes, yes. What challenges did you overcome at the beginning of your journey?
Um, that thing of feeling that I'm enough or feeling that I can, because I don't really see anyone around me leaving like a pension or things like that on the table and taking a risk. Not because they lost their job, not because they had to, just because you decide, I don't think that I can really live and be fulfilled in this position. So I was afraid that I, I wasn't enough. I didn't know enough. I'm not smart enough. And plus, my child's mother was, I think about like 8 months pregnant. So it was scary. So that the challenge was overcoming I can't. And what if this doesn't work?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So that was one, and once I did that, the world just opened up to me something crazy.
Right. And it's definitely stepping out of your comfort zone. It's such a, I don't even know, that feeling so, it just gives you,
It's freeing. It makes you feel
yeah,
alive.
it's just like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
Just
new.
another way of living. Like
Yeah,
it's it said with life begins right outside your comfort zone. So yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
It's growth. Growth, growth,
Exactly.
growth.
There's
Ooh,
no
this is a good
growth.
one.
There's no growth without discomfort. Please.
Exactly.
Hmm.
How do you define success?
Okay. Success is what you decide. So this is why. All right. Success is what you decide that you want from life, and then attaining that. So a lot of people aren't successful because they haven't made a decision of what they want. Success is not about millions of dollars or anything like that. If someone wants to go off and live in the woods and feed the squirrel and that's their life and they really go and accomplish it, that's a successful person.
Mm-hmm.
So I say success is defined by each individual. And once you make that decision of what success is for you and you go out and attain that, you're successful. So I
Right.
think I think it's individual based. What's your thoughts?
I definitely think success is happiness. Whatever makes you happy,
Mm,
that's success. Whether it's sleeping all day and watching Netflix, whether it's hanging with the kids, whether it's going to work, like it's all about perspective because
mm,
my definition of success could be different from yours, you know?
mm-hmm.
And it's just happiness, I would say.
I have a question then. Do you think there is positive success and negative success?
Definitely, 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 definitely. I feel like, for example, there could be a person that enjoys doing something, but they find in the moment of doing that, it makes them happy, but the after effect, they feel
Mm,
guilty or depressed or they regret it. That's
yes,
negative success because
yes,
you're enjoying it in the moment, but it has a negative effect on you.
right. So I asked you that because I love how you word it. So you said it's what brings you happiness. And some people, instant gratification, they confuse it with happiness. So they might sleep all day and think that, but the human, how we are, if you're not productive, eventually it seeps into your brain where you feel depressed, you feel, so you might think you're being successful, but it's minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Like truly living out your purpose and setting some. But anyway, I again another rant, and I do
No, but
that. So I
that's
stop.
actually a good point. You just opened my mind. You just opened my mind because that is true. You know, it's like
Yes,
even though it
yes,
makes you happy, are you getting
yeah,
somewhere?
yeah, yeah. So you might think that's success, but that's instant gratification. Success is something that it's in the broader scope. What is your purpose in life? And if your
Right.
purpose is to be zen like, and because you're not, you think you're happy, but you're not truly successful. Like these people go off of millions of dollars. They think they're successful, but it's not in alignment with the universal law of how to live your life. So you're not being successful in your mind, you are. So that's why it's an individual base. But true success you feel like you're one with the universe. You feel at peace, and you know that every day you wake up living your best life. So
Right.
I pay attention to things like that, and I see some parents, they're like, I'm so proud of my son. He's so successful. And I know, homie, he got bread, but he's popping pills. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's successful, but he's successful. Success is what defined by him, and I'm all for it. But
Right.
yeah, I'm not here to judge. I like how you said what negative and what positive success is. So
No, that's a
all
good
right,
point. You just opened up my mind. That's a good point.
that's what we here for.
Yes, yes.
Before you leave, right? I want to just say one thing. I don't know if I gave enough information about entrepreneurship, but here's one. I know a lot of young kids, they're thinking about real estate now. It's the hot topic. So here it is. You might see they talking about they want to be real estate agent. They might want to flip. They might look up being a general contractor. There's not a lot of minorities in there. It's not easy. When I did it's about like 9 to 12 books. It's an open book quiz, a lot of studying. As you can see, I love studying, so it wasn't hard for me. But once you get in there, that's your foot in the door where now people, they need you to pull permits. They need you to be on these sites. And now you're an intricate part of the team where you get a seat at the table where you skip ahead. When you're walking around with a bunch of people trying to sell a house, you're getting your money. I'm not knocking anybody, but it's hard work. You
Mm-hmm.
want people to come to you. So look up general contractors, and if you're trying to get into that space, you should. You don't need to swing a hammer or anything like that, but you get a seat at the table where you can start earning and thinking of how you want to expand your life.
Right, right, right. Because it's been a pleasure. You
Always a
guys
pleasure, man.
don't forget to follow Paul Hill. What is it? What is your username?
I think I was still. I
Is it
think I'm
at
on.
PG?
Yeah, It's P Gutter, man. I'm out
P
here.
Gutter. Okay, P Gutter. Is there any underscores in it?
I think it's like
I
PUG.
don't want to click on the internet live ends.
Listen. PGUTTAH. I was going through this detox, so I erased all my pictures. I felt like I was being too intimate, showing my kids and things like that. So I might put some like live things every once in a while, but I'm not really that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you follow me, I might have some things on there, but really I had to get some of the social media things out of my blood. So follow, don't follow, but I appreciate you 110, well,
No
100%.
problem. No problem. And also, guys, don't forget to go on the website phillcontracting.com. Yes.
Thank you, man. This was a fun. I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody.
No problem. Thanks, cuz.
You already.